going out there tonight?
Whoa. You stumped me now.
Check out our website, MannimalResearch.com. Thanks to everybody.
What up?
How's it going out there tonight, everybody? Hope everybody is doing well. Everybody that will be joining us tonight live, and those of you that will catch it later, we certainly do appreciate it. I am joined tonight, as always, by my partner in crime, Mr. Jasper Walls. How's it going tonight, buddy?
Good, man. Good. How's everybody out there?
Good. We had several people in there waiting before we got going tonight, and I know it's because of our guest tonight. We got a crowd favorite back. Miss Janice Carter is joining us again for her third time on Mannimal Research, and yeah, people keep asking for her back, so we're just going to keep bringing her back. She's become a good friend of ours, and yeah, we love having her. Yeah, every time she's on, we learn something new. But before we get into that, let's go through all this that we normally do. If you don't mind, hit that subscribe button, guys. We sure would appreciate it. I don't know, have we been on since we hit 1,000?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I thought, yeah, we were on. We did one show since we hit 1,000. We're at 1,090 right now, 1,090 something. So appreciate that so much, guys. You guys came through for us. We appreciate it. One member in particular, Mr. Ken King, I gave him a shout out. He was responsible for pushing us over the edge there when we got close. But guys, we certainly appreciate it. So if you haven't already done so, if you're new to the show, hit that subscribe button. And after the show tonight, after you get done watching us, if you don't mind, head over to MannimalResearch.com. Check out our website over there. You can report your encounters, get information on our group, get some information on getting out and doing your own research, and maybe even becoming a new member of Mannimal. One of our teams getting out with us, or maybe if you don't live near us, starting your own branch of Mannimal out where you live, and we can talk to you about that. We sure would like to speak to you. Also, we are on Facebook. If you're on Facebook, and who isn't, let's be honest, just search Mannimal Research on Facebook, and you can find us. Our group there is growing as well. We got over 600 members there on our Facebook group. So yeah, guys, go check us out over there as well. And before, I know Wallace has something he wants to talk to everybody about tonight. But before we do, I do want to apologize. I've missed you guys. I really have. We haven't been on in a couple weeks. 2 weeks ago, we were set to come on with a good buddy of ours, good buddy of mine, Mr. Patrick Vaughn, was coming back on. And literally an hour and 20 minutes before the show, I got called into work. So had to reschedule, to let Walls know, had to let Patrick know. They were both cool about it. And, you know, things happen. Work comes first, unfortunately. But we've talked to Patrick since, and he's going to come back on because we've had several people asking when we're going to bring Patrick back on. So we had him set up, guys, but fell through, but he'll be back. And last week, you know, just like the week before, due to work, I had to miss. So it's been 2 weeks since we've seen you guys, and like I said, I miss you guys.
Well, I did a Facebook live, so.
yeah, Walls stepped in last week and did a live, and I was able to catch some of it, did it on Facebook, and appreciate that. But, yeah, all that being said, as I told you, Walls has something he wanted to go over. If you're ready, buddy, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to check. Did you get Chris's email, didn't you, for the new address? I
did. Yeah, I got Chris's email.
All right. Well, guys, this is not I'm just going to – it's pretty simple. Nothing – not mad at anybody. I'm going to address this for the show and for you guys and anybody else out there, we are researchers. We try to work together. The key thing that's come up to my attention is I've heard and seen actually other researchers emailing another researcher and basically talking down to them. And I'm not cool with that. And I know, Wayne, we had to address this a while back because we had some saying some crazy comments. And I think matter of fact, I think one was bashing me. And I don't care for criticism. It don't bother me. We're all going to have criticism. We're going to have it every which way because we're trying to find a creature or look for a creature or we're trying to study a creature. So I ask you, please, if you have something bad to say to somebody, keep it to yourself. Don't go emailing them personally and telling them how stupid or bad they are, because to me, I can consider that as bullying. And I'm not going to have it, and I will address it with Wayne. And if it keeps up, I'm not going to say names or nothing, but you know, people know who they are. Certain ones, I'm not saying any of y'all guys, but it's just we need to work together, guys. We are here to work together. I still learn stuff from new people. I watch different documentations. Like I was watching one today, mountain. I think, what was it, Wayne? I sent it to you as mountain something. Mountain Devil.
I don't remember. I have to go back and look.
Mountain Devil. And it's a documented events in Pennsylvania that happened, and they were using different things trying to get, reactions. And I was like, cool, I ain't heard this in a while. I've seen this. And we just need to work together, guys. So I'm asking you nicely, please don't bash anybody. Don't come in the comments saying that it's crazy crap. And it just, to me, it's kind of like bullying. We're doing things. Yeah, we have a little craziness in us because we're going out in the woods and looking for possibly a creature that it could be real, could be not. And I'm just saying that because open-minded, because there's people that's skeptic. There's people that believe in it. I believe in it. There's too many out there that believe in it. So I beg you guys, please don't do it. Don't do it anymore. I don't want nobody. If you want to be mad at me, be mad at me. I apologize. I'm just speaking from the heart and speaking everything else. It's just straight up. Okay. Right. We don't need a name.
Like Scottish Wildman says, we don't need a name, just an address.
Right.
Now, I don't know the situation. I don't know the exact situation you're talking about, but I know what you're talking about, and I agree with you. And a few weeks ago, we had a couple people in our comments getting into it and having a few unkind words to say, and I didn't catch it all, and I was busy. But guys, I'm letting you know, if it happens again, I don't care who the members are, we're going to boot them both. We don't have room for that. One of the things that I decided one of the reasons I decided to start Mannimal instead of joining an existing group was things like this, all of the bashing and the negativity and everything. And I told everyone from myself down that it's not going to happen in this group. It's not. We're not going to bash other researchers. And I mean, we can't stop other people from doing it to us, but we're not going to pay it no attention. We're not going to address it. Talk about us if you want to. We're not going to get into the he said, she said. We're not stooping to your level. Basically, we all need to work together, just like Wall said. So if anything like that goes on our platform, we're going to get rid of it. We're not putting up with it. Just like if anybody comments or shares a comment on our shows on YouTube afterward, I'm going to erase those as well, because we're just not putting up with the negativity.
Yeah. And one other thing, y'all all will probably agree with this. Wayne actually shared it to me. I've seen it. It's been on Facebook. It's actually around the news a little bit. I don't know what the senator or governor in Oklahoma is thinking.
Hold on, Walls, before you get into that. I just want to read. We got Duke here from World Bigfoot Radio. He said, if you don't like what certain folks are doing, it's better to shun and ignore than attack. Attacking them gives them free press. And you're exactly right. You're exactly right, Duke. Very well said. So I just wanted to share that. from a guy that's been doing it a lot longer than us and has more experience with it. That's really good advice, buddy. But go ahead. I know what you're getting into, Walls.
Yeah,
He's
I
a
hope you
he's a
guys.
state representative from Oklahoma. That's who you're
Yeah,
talking about.
yeah, and saying wanting to do a hunt. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna tell you right straight now, guys. If you guys agree with this guy and you want to be part of that, I promise you right now, I will not stand by you. I will make sure we kick you out of the group. I'm just gonna put that out there because we're not out there to hunt for them. I don't like what I don't think it'll go anywhere, but it should be an uproar about this because that shows how an idiot is in office trying to do something like this. Now, I know there's laws in certain states that have the protection of these things. So Oklahoma, there's probably one there hidden he don't know about because nobody really knows about them. Because Georgia has one I didn't know about. Oregon has them, has the law protecting these things.
We'll ask Janice what her opinion of it is. I think you can look at that a couple ways. One, your way, you were upset about it as given the right to go and kill one of these things, and I don't agree. You know how our stance, Mannimal stance, we don't agree. We're no kill, but also the other side of that, if a state representative is willing to put it into law, then is that the state recognizing them as a real creature? That's the way that I look at it. Are there steps being taken to show that these things exist?
I agree with that. I do agree with that, but it's another thing. And you got to also look at the other way. Is like if they go do this, we might as well stop going in the woods and trying to search because we're going to get shot. Because like that one person said, they're going to go out here shooting for anything that's bipedal and not see it in the dark and be shooting a human being and not know it, or other hunters. I mean, it's just to me, it's just I think
Chris,
it's stupid.
Chris here says there's a petition being started against it, from what he is hearing. And Duke said Oklahoma has over 1,000 reports, more than Oregon or Washington. That's
Dang.
wow. That's impressive to me because it seemed like I read somewhere Oklahoma was like number 7 in sightings, in Bigfoot sightings, but I don't know. That's a lot. Area X is out there, and they got the Wood Ape Conservancy. Those guys are doing a lot of cool stuff out in Oklahoma, out in Area X. But yeah, see, there's a lot of them out there.
Right. So guys, I apologize for having an attitude. I'm not an attitude with you guys. I love you guys, and it's just hopefully y'all guys can feel. I would love to find one, but I'm not going out there to shoot one. Like Wayne can tell you, I don't go out with a gun. He'll go with a pistol on the side. I go out with an axe and a hatchet. The only thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a finger off and he'll get killed by one. If I
want to cut your own finger off, is what you're going to do.
Yeah, I'll feed it to him. It's like, here, dude.
Pat here, my buddy Pat Turner says he's ignorant for sure, but the language doesn't say kill. So that's interesting. Maybe he's just trying to make money off people doing what we're doing. You got to have a license to do research.
Possibly.
Anyway, we have gone on for almost 15 minutes, and nobody's here to listen to us talk.
I know.
They are here for the great Miss Janice Carter. She is on standby. She's ready to go. So if you are, buddy, we will bring her on.
Get Janice back on here.
There she is. How are you doing tonight, ma'am?
Doing good. Hello. Big shout out to Duke and everybody else on here.
Awesome. Yeah, Duke from World Bigfoot Radio is on here. We got Andy Jones, Chris Jarvis, Eric Young, Pat Turner, our buddy Greg's a member of Mannimal, Boots on the Ground with Barb. Got a bunch of our regulars. Say hey to everybody.
Hey, everybody.
How have you been, Janice?
Been doing good. Hello, Duke. I saw you. It says howdy, did. No, I've been doing good. And hello, Albert. Anyway, I wanted to jump right in because you all were addressing that with the senator in Oklahoma. And you said something, I could hear you backstage, of course, about that. I have a lot of friends that live in Oklahoma. I have had a very dear friend. His name was Steve Summers. He passed away a few months ago. And back last year, we tried to lobby for the protection of them to get the Bigfoot their rights and recognized. And Eric Ottman from Pennsylvania took that and ran with it and tried to get signatures and everything. This was in the forefront of what this senator is now trying to do for Oklahoma. They told us that we had to have over 10,000 signatures in order to even get them recognized, the Bigfoot recognized as a creature, a being. Okay, now here comes along the senator, and he's going to open season on them, basically. And the wording does not say that you're allowed to kill, but what is open season on any other animal? That's a hunting season. Right. Exactly. Now here's my thoughts on this. Bigfoot are going to protect themselves. They're going to protect their families. They're going to protect their tribes. What is going to happen is we're going to get a bunch of idiots out there shooting at the first thing that moves. And they might shoot one of us. They might shoot our child. But regardless, they go out there and they shoot a Bigfoot. The next thing you're going to have happen is they're going to retaliate. They aren't going to take this lightly. And it's going to be World War III with Bigfoot against us.
I don't think we want that.
I believe that would hit our theory of human and Bigfoot's going to interact real quick.
Yeah, they'd be interacting real quick, and it wouldn't be the nice kind of interaction. I go out there. I mean, call me crazy. I don't care. I went yesterday with William and William Henry. Y'all know what Ninja Dave is what he goes by.
Ninja Dave.
We went up into the mountains last night around the Charles Skyway. And I don't care to mention this because there's certain areas there that have Bigfoot around the Dragon and up through Robbinsville and everything. And I was warning them. I said, y'all need to take notice because if it's in Oklahoma, what's to keep the people from Oklahoma coming over here into Tennessee or Georgia or North Carolina and shooting at them? Not one thing. Because in Tennessee, we have not had any type of protection for the Bigfoot as an endangered species or anything else since 2004. That's the last time we managed to get them on the endangered species list.
Well, I know Georgia actually has a protection against them that you can be fined if you apparently shoot one and everything. You get fined, I think, $10,000 and jailed for 90 days, I believe, or something like that. Didn't even know that until an old member actually brought it at one of our campouts, and there it was. I was like, dang.
So, Janice, you're saying that at one time Tennessee did recognize Sasquatch as an endangered species?
Yes, and I was part of that. We did it from a bunch of people. We signed petitions. I owned my own wildlife research organization back then, and we carried that petition through for the endangered species list from 1997 up until 2004.
Well, how does something get taken off of that list is what I want to know. What has to happen?
They just simply drop it, and if you don't go and try to reestablish it, and at the time I had moved, I went to Indiana, I was in Kentucky because I was doing some research with the Erickson Project, and I wasn't here to help lobby.
Well, would it also be if, like, other animals have been on endangered species and they've started to thrive back, and then turn around and they've took them off the endangered species? Yeah, that kind of raised an eyebrow in a way, because how you said it, if nobody kept up with them, or how you were saying it. But what if somebody knew and said, "Hey, these guys are thriving. We can take them off the species list now, like any other animal."
that could have been a possibility, but I don't think that they knew enough back then
Yeah.
to say with the certainty that there's XYZ amount here in this area or here in this area over here. Because if you don't know how to do a head count without physically seeing them, which
Right.
I'm sorry, I do. I know what they do and how they count the members of each group, family group, tribal group, whatnot. But if you don't know how to do that, then how are you going to say there's 500 in this area and 2 in this? You know.
That's true.
Yeah. So, Janice, you said you and William. I want to say what's up to my buddy William, Ninja Dave. Hey, buddy, I know you're watching. We got to get you back on, by the way. We need to get with me. We need to set that up. What'd y'all run into last night or here recently when y'all been out? Y'all come across anything interesting? You sent me some pictures, and I told you I was running late today. Couldn't get my computer up and going, so I wasn't able to download them, but we'll get them on next time. So what are you guys seeing?
We didn't really see anything last night. It was cold up in the mountains. They probably are actually up in the caves and different things, hiding, not hiding, but, staying warm. We did hear, and I will not say for a fact that it was a Bigfoot. We heard what we thought was an owl hooting way up in the mountains. Down on the lower side of the dragon, we did hear a lot of movement, found I'm not a photographer, so William takes all the pictures. If you see a picture and I've sent it to you, 99% of those pictures were taken by William, and I want him to have full credit for that because I do not photograph. I don't even think to grab my phone half the time. When we get out of the vehicle, my phone's back in the vehicle, and William's like, "Well, where's your phone?" "Oh, I left it in the vehicle." So he does a lot of this photography. He does a great job at it. He's very, very high tech with that and knows how to run it and maneuver them and catch things. But we did go up in this one area on the lake there, and we did hear some, for lack of a better word, couldn't make out what they were saying, but we did hear them talking. And we could hear them walking. They weren't subtle about it. You could hear them, moving around. Found some of what we think may have been their food crates that they stashed food for the wintertime in. Found some footprints. They were old. Just different things of that nature. And we tried to play, me and William tried to play goat and run up the mountainside like they do. We found a slide. William noticed it first where they'd slid down on the butts on the side of the mountainside. And there's footprints where they stopped. And it was like the earth, when they came to a stop, it pushed the earth up with their feet to get stopped. But he has all that on his phone. He videoed the whole thing. We look like two idiots running up that mountainside trying to play Bigfoot.
Yeah, I want to remind everybody that tonight's show we have Janice back on for an opportunity for you guys to ask questions. So if you guys feel free to ask questions anytime, but if you don't mind, put them in all caps, so that we can get to them quick. And Walls helps me to keep up with them. And we got one here from one of our members, Mr. Greg Smith. It's one that you've probably been asked a million times, but we'll go back over it because there is no bad question. It's a good question. Janice Carter, I have a question. I was told that wood knocks do have a meaning. Depending on the number of knocks, what is the meaning of tree knocks?
Okay. One knock is a locator, basically. 2 knocks is who is or who are, asking basically who are you. It can be, and 3 knocks is where are you at, is again, and they'll respond with 1 knock back. the main ones to know is if you are out in the woods, if they do 7 rapid knocks, that means that they are aware, very aware that you are in the woods with them. That is their signal for mankind being in the woods with them. 9 knocks, you've got a gun with you, and they know it.
9 knocks.
9 knocks, and it's rapid fire. It sounds like the firecrackers going off.
Okay. Are there any that are a warning that should tell us that they're not happy and we need to go?
Actually, if they'll do what I call herding you out of an area if they don't want you in that area, and that involves them throwing pebbles and stuff at you, and they will sort of like do a semicircle around you, and they're strategically surrounded you, but they leave you an opening to exit by. And then they'll start, and the one on the left will start the 1 knock. Then it'll go over like to from the 9 o'clock to the 11 o'clock position, and then to the 1 o'clock position. And they sound off until that last one is going to be on the right side knock, and then they're going to start driving you, just like a bunch of cattle dog will surround the cattle and herd them all in one direction. The drovers will.
Okay. Miss Jennifer Noble, one of our regulars, has a really good question. Miss Janice, with all the amazing work you have done with Bigfoot, what is your ultimate goal? Great question.
Okay, my ultimate goal is to learn from them, because they are another people just like we are, and I don't care what indigenous type people that we study, we always gain knowledge from them. It's like, for instance, you go down in New Guinea, you gain knowledge from the Darby down there. You go down into South America, you study with the Urim, you gain knowledge, and we're losing this knowledge. I mean, it seems primitive to us, but they have medical, herbs and stuff that they use that cures things that we need it. We need this information. Maybe we could cure cancer if we knew how to use what herbs to use, and if they were safe for us. Maybe we could cure the COVID as far as that goes.
All right. Got a good one here from JJ's Cryptid. Miss Janice, what is your funniest story? Thank you, ma'am.
Funniest?
Yeah.
Bigfoot related, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Probably the time I was up and we were interacting with Grumpy and his wife at the time, and I had
now tell everybody who Grumpy is in case some of us haven't been around for all of our shows. You've talked about Grumpy before.
Okay, Grumpy is a Bigfoot. He is not a part of Foxy's family group. He is in another. He's actually in Central Tennessee. And I've worked with him from the time I was with Mary Green back in the day. And we dubbed him Grumpy. That's not his real name, but we dubbed him that because he used to come out and he was just a grouch. He was like a grumpy old man when he'd come up. So anyway, interacting with him, he's a keeper of the word, which they do have a writing style. They do have a language and everything. And they do draw glyphs and stuff, and they communicate in that way, shape, and form. Grumpy has taught me a lot, and I've learned from him, not necessarily him from me. But anyway, we were up there and we were interacting one time, and I took a bunch of cheese nips because he loves cheese nips, some cinnamon graham crackers, and soda and different things up there to them, to them. And I said, okay, I'm going to go down to your writing rocks, and I'm going to do rubs on the writing rocks to lift the glyphs that he had drawn. And we were down there. Well, his little wife, she wouldn't come close while we were there. And I kept saying, well, come on out, guys. Come on, interact with us. And finally, I had my cousin with me at the time. And I said, well, what do you want us to do? I said, do you want us to leave? And she's, yes. She whines it out, that whiny, high-pitched voice. And I said, okay, let's pack up and leave, because the next thing that's going to happen is she's going to throw a rock and she's going to hit us with a rock. She wants us out of here. But it was funny because I knew what was coming next. If we didn't leave right then and there after I asked her, what do you want us to leave? Do you want us to leave? And she said yes. She was going to throw a rock. If she wanted, I said, okay, we're going to leave these snacks here for you. You come get them. And she was okay with that. Yes, she wanted us to leave those snacks,
Okay, Scotty B has a question. It's one that I've wanted to know myself, and I can't believe I haven't asked you this. But Miss Janice, what is with orbs and Sasquatch?
Okay, the orbs, most of the time the orbs are their essence. They know how to bend energy. They know how to bend light. It's an abnormality that they are very well at doing, because first off, for one thing, their hair is translucent. In other words, it has a transparency to it, which reflects like a mirror. If you was to set a mirror in front of you, your torso, and angle yourself around, you can't really see in behind that mirror. You see what's in front of that mirror. Does that make sense? Okay, with that, they know how to do that naturally. So they'll stand in like sunlight and turn sideways. Now you see me, now you don't. And we call it cloaking, we call it shimmering. Yes, they can do that, but it's a matter of knowing how to do it. And the orbs, they'll send those orbs in front of themselves. They can be huge orbs. And they'll send it out in front of themselves in order to check you out, check the surroundings out, so that they will not be detected. But now, I don't know if it's because I'm colorblind or what, but I happen to see them very well when they do this. I've had other people that they freaked out on me, literally freaked out when they saw one coming at them. And I said, oh, it's just the Bigfoot doing it. And they're like, no, because people associate the orbs with demonic beings. That's not the case at all. Not with them. I sent you a picture tonight of a Bigfoot who has actually shimmered, cloaked, not cloaked all the way, that is standing behind me at that cemetery where the rose is. I don't know whether you saw it or not, Wayne.
I didn't see that, but I'm going to go back and look for it. You were standing where?
I'm standing at a cemetery, and William took the picture. There's a rose. I'm standing over the far side, and there's this white light beam standing there. That's a Bigfoot. He's in between going totally cloaked, invisible, and being physically there. He shows up white, like a white light.
Okay.
And that's what I call shimmering, because they're not quite totally invisible at that point. You can still see them.
Okay.
But there's always orbs involved with that, and it's just their essence. It's just a way that they can feel you out or know what you're doing without being on top of you.
Okay. And we have another one from, I guess it's Miss Han 1, MSHANN 1. Does the government actively communicate with Bigfoot elders? And if so, why do they hide it?
Good question.
It's the government knows about them. And I don't want this show to go blank, because I've been on shows and they cut us down. They shut us down when we get to talking about government. Thing of it is, government can't round them up. They can't actually supervise what they're doing like they can us. I mean, everybody, you think about it. on this planet, everybody, especially in the United States, has a Social Security number. We are a number. They are not a number, but we are. The government can track the paperwork. I mean, you follow the paper trail. You don't have a paper trail with Bigfoot that you can follow. And it makes it harder for the government to keep track of them, what they're doing, how they, move from one area to the other, who they're marrying, what family group is having what children. We have a census. I know they did the census this year. They went to everybody's door. They even came to, went to the hotels and everything, even out to the homeless people to see how many people lived in what state, in what county, what city, the whole 9 yards. It's the way that the government keeps track of how much our population is and what jobs we're working at. They can't do that with the Bigfoot. If they can't control the Bigfoot, they don't want anybody else to,
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. I was wondering if the government, U.S. government, was able to keep tabs on them if they knew about how many there were. So you're saying that it's not possible for them to keep up with them?
Not all of them. The only way that they can actually keep tabs on them, and like I said, if the show goes down, it's not my fault. You open the can of worms, is to put microchips in them, and there are some of them that have microchips.
Really?
They do tag them. They put the microchips in them. They can keep track of them with those transitional microchips. That said, I can put one of those. I have show collies. I don't have any right this moment, but I've always tracked my show collies with the generalized microchip. That if the dog gets away from me, they can scan it and they'll know who the owner is. Hunting dogs. I've had hunting dogs. Now, we want one that will a microchip in a hunting dog that will transmit back in case that dog gets out there in the woods and goes off after a coon or whatever and doesn't come back to the truck when called. That way I know where to go and go pick my darn dog up at, It's as simple as that. Again, they use those microchips in the Bigfoot. They wanted to use them in the criminal justice system for criminals that were in prison. I do know that they put some of those microchips into some of the serial killers and stuff. But so far, they haven't been able to do it with us. But the government has been talking about having everybody in the United States carry a microchip in them. And guess what? This old gal isn't going to take that.
Yeah. Got another one from Mr. Andy Jones. Is it true that Bigfoot use coyotes to hunt with, or are they competitors?
In some areas, they'll use coyotes, wolves. I've even seen them with cats, big mountain lions, and even the dogmen. Some of them, they get along well with dogmen, and they'll overlap territory, and they use them and they help them. A lot of the Bigfoot, what they like to do is they like to use the eyes of the forest, is what I call them, because they'll use crows, falcons, eagles, hawks, and those birds will actually signal when there's someone in the woods, when there's prey, and they act as their eyes.
I can believe that with the bird. I can see that with the birds because I know a lot. Because if you watch a lot of wildlife stuff out in Africa, I think some of the baboons, they stay near the trees area and actually listen and wait for the birds to actually be an alarm system for lions coming in. So yeah, I can see that happening. I can see that happening.
Mm-hmm. Fox, back years ago when I was younger, I used to get so aggravated with him. He had a red-tailed hawk that he had managed to tame down some way, and this thing would get right in front of me. I don't know how many times I've almost stepped on that hawk, and it'd fly up in my face, scare the living daylights out of me. because we're talking about a bird of prey that, you know, is worse than a goose coming at you. But he used to use that hawk, and that hawk would fly around, and circle around and make it screech. And lo and behold, they'd run out and there'd be a rabbit or some other animal, that they could catch real easy.
Okay, another one of our new members, Miss Kelsey, has a question. She wants to know if you have any advice for new Bigfoot researchers.
Good question. That being said, if you are new to this, be careful what you wish for. Really weigh the pros and the cons of how much and how far you want to get involved in this. That said, so that you want to go ahead and carry through with it. A piece of advice, and I learned this not only from the Bigfoot, but also from doing dog shows. Try to wear the same type of clothing. I know people think that my wardrobe is really limited because I have a tendency to wear the same outfit on every podcast and at every dog show. That being said, it's because people start associating you with that clothing, if that makes sense.
It does.
So, for instance, when I go out in the woods around certain groups, I have different outfits, and I have one shirt that's about 10 years old that I wear every time I go out to Grumpy's. I also have a certain shirt that I wear, for instance, when I go out and interact with Foxy's extended family group that is now still living. Another, I wear cloaks. And most people don't wear cloaks, they wear coats or sweaters, but I have a tendency to wear a cloak. Now, I may change up the color of that cloak, but in the wintertime, I have that cloak on over the top of everything else I have on, and they associate that with me. They know, hey, she goes up, there she is, there's our Manita, we know who she is, and they call me Manita, which means small hand. But also, when you're starting to interact, let them come to you. Don't go chasing off in the woods like some of these TV shows try to teach you to do. The wood knocks, the hoops, the hollers, they're going to think you're... I don't know how many times I've had recordings that people have sent me, and the Bigfooter in the background saying, well, they're so funny looking. What in the world are they doing? And it's like it comes to the point of who's really trying to mimic whom, here.
Yeah.
And it while wood knocking and hooping works some of the time, it does not work all the time. I like to let them initiate the interaction. That way, I'm not stepping on their toes, and they don't feel like I'm posing a threat. Therefore, they don't get aggressive. And that said, I learned a long time ago the Simpsons are another bunch, and they are aggressive if you don't know how to interact with them. But I've been interacting with them for years. It took me a while to figure out that I just don't walk into their territory. I wait until they come out. One of them will usually come out, and then I'll say, hey, do you care if I go in and I do this, that, or whatever I'm going to do? And he'll grunt, or he'll give me a signal, or he'll say okay or whatever, and then I can peacefully go in there. Because I'm going to tell you what, I'm scared, a little bit leery of the Simpsons. They put me on the ground before with infrasound and other things, and they have pushed trees down. They've slapped the side of my vehicle. I had one of them up on my windshield, laid across the front end of my vehicle back in the day, because they're aggressive. If you don't respect them, they're not going to respect you. And these guys are 14 feet tall. They're big. They're big. And I kid you not, they are huge. I mean, they're about the biggest I've seen. So
about the biggest you've seen? I would imagine 14 foot. Is 14 foot not the biggest you've seen?
No, I saw one in Indiana that was every bit of 16 feet. We measured the tree that it was standing by.
And you had told us before on one of the other episodes, but remind us what is an average lifespan of one of these things?
Um, Anywhere between, I'd say, right at 70 to 150 years. They say that I've only met one that claimed that he was 120 years old.
Yeah, I remember you telling us that. So you said the average lifespan is what again?
Between 70 to 150 is what they claim.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah. But
And
you know,
what a
given to disease or something, they could die younger age. It's like back a couple weeks ago, there was one that in an area not here in Tennessee, but in a northern state that lost her child to a bear attack. And don't ask me how I know. I know this for a fact.
what was it Holly that was talking about that on our show?
She talked about it, but it was a different occurrence. They have a tendency. They do fight bears and mountain lions because the bears have a tendency to try to prey upon their young. And when they're out hunting, they'll set Junior. I'm just taking Junior as an example, or it could be Juniorette, whatever. The baby, they'll set it down because they hunt as a troop. Okay. So they'll set the child down and teach it like Native Americans used to. You know, the warrior women went out, and that's what I go by, warrior woman Jan, would go out with the hunters to hunt game. You set your child down, tell your child to be quiet, stay still, stay put. You go do your hunt, and then when the hunt's over, you retrieve your child and take it with you to, skin the deer, the buffalo, or whatever. The same is with them. So if you know, and I lost where I was going with that, but again, okay, this is called one of those carousel moments. It'll come back around, but they're very much like that, and and they'll signal each other and everything, but then they come back and they get the child.
Okay, Bigfoot Mama has a question here. Do all Sasquatch groups have day watchers? Great question.
Most of them do. Yeah.
And I'd like to know what kind of structure do these Bigfoot groups have? I mean, take Fox's family for example. We know that Fox and Sheba were husband and wife, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, and then they had several young throughout the years.
Mm-hmm.
So, of those several young, who were the watchers, and what was their jobs? I mean, was some of them watchers, others hunters, and what did each one do in that family unit?
Generally, Fox being the leader of the group, although Sheba had him under her thumb. But at any rate, that's okay. For instance, of that particular family group, they used Blackie for a while as the watcher. He would be on day watch, and he would be awake while the other ones slept, for instance, or whatever. They would hunt in groups, like I said. As they got older, Toby became one of the watchers, and it's sort of passed around to the children to be the one that stays awake and keeps watch. But they're not really teenagers, as in the same sense that we're teenagers, because they mature faster. So by the time that they're about 8 years old, they're set to, hey, watch for, invaders, watch for someone to come up and stomp on us while we're sleeping. This is a general for a general family group or tribal group. Tribal groups have multiple watchers, and they range anywhere from about 8 years old to up into their 30s. But just for a particular family group, they use the children generally. And people like to think that they're nocturnal. They're not. They're just as active in the daytime as they are of the nighttime.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I do all my research during the daytime mainly because I can't see squat at nighttime. So I could be out there trying to do Sasquatch research and step on a snake, or fall off a cliff, even better.
We got a great question here from Lisa. Had my house banged on 2 times during the night, then heard 2 talking. Could not make out one word. Unfamiliar language. Why do they bang? I think my dog was friendly with one. Do they with dogs?
Some of them get along with dogs. They bang on the house usually because they're passing through. Generally, they're just passing through, and it's like us. Okay, if I'm going to go through my neighbor's property and I'm on foot, I might knock on the door, say, "Hey, I'm going to walk around on your property. I'm out here." Same with them. That's what they do. Now, there's a difference between knocking on the side of the house or banging on the side of the house as opposed to trying to peek in that house. Okay? To watch. I don't know how many times they've hit the outside of my house. One of them up in Tellico, when we were in the Tellico Plains, we had a cabin up there on Laurel Mountain. And one of them came through, and it wasn't one of Fox's family groups, but it was another group that was up there, and hit the house so hard that it knocked it off the foundation.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yes. I mean, they hit it really hard. And at the time, I had some little Shelties, and one of them did not know how to shut its mouth and they would tell it, "Shut up," and it didn't know how to shut its mouth. And that was a fine example of when they don't get along with a dog, because I had these dogs in kennels. They were locked in kennels, and they broke into the kennel and took that dog. I haven't seen it since. There is no catching a Bigfoot when it takes off with something.
Yeah, Lisa, I'd like to know why it is you think that your dog was friendly with one. Also, Lisa, if you're still having this stuff going on at your property, we'd like to talk to you and see what's going on out there. If you wouldn't mind getting in touch with us, I would appreciate it.
Yeah. While we're on the subject here of whether or not they get along with domesticated animals, and nobody's going to believe me because it's a little hard to believe. But the other night, I have this little cat here, and his name is Rocky, and he's a bottled baby. I raised him on the bottle from the time he was a kitten. He follows me everywhere. Well, what was it, back last week, Holly? Back last week, he followed me out the door one evening when I took the garbage out to the dumpster, and I didn't pay attention. I didn't see him get out behind me. And I turn around, it's 2 hours later after I have taken out the garbage, and I'm looking for this cat. I'm like, oh my God, he's out there. So here I go. I'm banging on everybody's door, asking them if they've seen this stupid kitten, this cat. He's a grown cat, but I still call him a kitten. Nobody had seen him. And I'm out there 2 hours in the cold, in the middle of the night, calling this cat. I finally go down through the little wood line that's between here and the interstate, and here he comes. You talk about a cat stinking to high heaven. Now, can I prove that the Bigfoot had a hold of him? Absolutely not. But that cat did not show up by himself stinking like that. His hair, they have a natural oil to their skin, and when they touch something, it's almost impossible to get that oil residue off of it. I've given this cat 3 baths and he's still greasy. He doesn't have that stench to him anymore, which smelled like rotten vegetation mixed with burning leaves and rotten meat. And this cat was not in the dumpster. I swear, he was not in the dumpster. He had no way to get in the dumpster, and he's too little, and he was out in the woods, when I found him. And it was like, and somebody sort of gave that little who, and that's the reason I went over to where I actually found him at.
Okay, we
But
got.
there's a fine example of, yes, they do. They brought the cat back. It's obvious that they brought him back. They get along with this cat. Although I had one back in the past that Fox and them killed because the cat scratched me and they thought it was, attacking me. So they killed the cat.
All right. Got an interesting question here. Janice, do they believe in God?
Yes, they believe in the great creator. They have a name for God, which basically translates to the one or the creator.
Okay, but you don't know if it's necessarily the same God we.
Yes, I do. It's basically the same God we believe in. At least the ones that I've researched.
That's interesting. I'm not sure about this one. Is the Enoch Story by Autumn Williams in Florida a true account? Are you familiar with that?
Yes, I am. Autumn is a friend of mine. We've known each other for many, many years.
So what's the story with that?
It's a true story, and it's an account of a man who interacted with a Bigfoot down there in Florida. And he called him Enoch. It's a great read. If you read that story, you will come away with a lot of knowledge.
Okay. All right. Bama Bigfoot here. Jim, my son got growled at. He shot in the air. They banged on his window. I talked to them, then left a small X under his truck, then left. What does that mean?
Okay. So the son was out there and shot in the air at him after they growled, or was he shooting before they growled? It depends on whether or not he actually was shooting a gun and they perceive that as a harmful thing or not. And sometimes when people think they're growling, they're actually not growling. They're saying hello. It depends, because again, they speak from the diaphragm instead of from the throat or the mouth, and it comes up a little bit growly, I guess is the way to put it. It sounds like a growl. But that said, that X put in under his truck, that is a welcome.
Oh, okay.
It is a welcome. It means that they want to be friendly with him. They have forgiven him for whatever they thought that maybe he trespassed upon their territory with.
Okay, got another one from another one of our members, Mr. Greg. Do Bigfoot help people who get lost in the woods? I've heard these stories before. Are any of them true, Janice?
Yes, there have been accounts of where they have actually helped people when they were lost in the woods, helped them get out of the woods, helped them find, their way back to civilization. But there are also accounts where people go missing, and while we don't know for a fact that the Bigfoot are accountable for the missing people, there is a distinct possibility that they could be.
Okay.
Because just like with us, we have the good, the bad, and the ugly,
That's very true. Very true.
Hey, hey Janice, I want to ask some. I know we got a thing coming up. Hopefully, still and still in the working or making of February 6th when we go out to do up in a big area, a new area. I was actually messaging Wayne about I watched a document or watching a movie earlier, a thing that events happened in Pennsylvania, and I was wanting to get your take on it about using, because we did it on our last one. We used the samurai kind of talking. We're wanting to think about using maybe a like a baby crying. Would you think that would be
no.
aggression?
That will bring on aggression because they're going to think one of their children is in distress. Do not use samurai chatter, Ron Moorhead's part, where the Bigfoot sounds like it's screaming its head off, because he has actually dumped coffee on him and he's been burned in the fire, and he is screaming in agony.
We didn't use that one.
A lot of people like to sound blast with that, and they don't realize what they are using when they do that. If you want to use any part of the samurai chatter, I don't know whether it's Ron himself that narrates it or Jonathan that's narrating, but when it first comes on and he says there's two of them across the creek, and the
That's
female,
the one thing we used.
Okay, the female, she says, I want some of that. He'd really want it, is what the male says. Good will you want. Good, you're here to talk. That part can be used, and they understand it, and it's all in English. It just, a lot of people don't understand what they're saying in that, because you have to slow it down. That part can be used, and they're going to recognize that as a friendly measure on your part. But if you sound blast that where he's burned and he's screaming, or where she is fighting over the Wampa Humpa, which is actually the coffee pot, with him, before he gets burned, you're going to have all kinds of problems.
Okay.
We've gone over an hour, if you can believe it.
Oh, yeah, a little bit.
Time flies when we get Janice on here. She's just full of so much information, so much knowledge. We want to thank you again, Janice, for coming back on, and I don't think it'll be the last time. If you're willing to come back, we're willing to have you back.
Definitely, anytime.
And
anytime,
we had talked.
Anytime our work schedules allow it.
Yeah. We talked about doing like a round table thing. It would be cool to get you and maybe Duke on here to do one, and a couple of our other guests that we've had on several times to have on here, and maybe do a couple hour show and have the viewers just rapid fire a bunch of questions. That would be really cool.
Certainly.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm good.
All right. We'll talk to people and see if we can get that set up. But Janice, ma'am, thank you again so very much for coming on. And
thank you.
I forgot something, Wayne.
What?
I know, guys. Guys, I want to. If y'all guys know Janice, she is actually You still have the GoFundMe thing with the hotel?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
We're still running it. I need to put it probably back up to the top of my page.
Okay.
We have managed to raise enough money. We got the electric bill paid for last month. We have managed to raise enough to put the down payment on the hot water boiler, but we still are looking for, any help that we can, get with funding to actually get it installed and up and running.
All right. Well, guys, go ahead, Wayne.
I was just gonna say, Janice, tell everybody where they can find that GoFundMe at.
It's on my homepage, and it's called the OYO Hotel. It's GoFundMe app. Yeah, and it's business owner and tenants need help.
Okay. So just go onto your page and they will find it.
Yeah.
Whatever we can do, guys.
Okay.
I think everybody, any amount is a help at this point, because this thing has cost us $25,000.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys, help her out. Go over there and drop a couple bucks, whatever you can do, even if it's $1 or $2. Every little bit helps. It adds up. Just
Yeah,
do what you can. Yeah, guys, help her out. We certainly would appreciate it.
And I mean, I speak the truth. The owner here takes in a lot of people who otherwise would be homeless or without shelter. Provides food, shelter. I mean, he's taken out of his own pocket to feed people here. And we don't have drug addicts. I mean, even though it is a hotel, we don't have a bunch of hoodlums in here. These are older people. Most of them are older people that don't have a family to help them out.
All right, well, guys, let's be the family that helps them out. So, guys, go to Janice's page and help out. Just do whatever you can, and we would appreciate it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, Janice, you have a good night, ma'am, and we will be in touch. Okay.
Okay, y'all too. Everybody,
Bye-bye.
have a good night.
Thank you.
Wonderful as always, huh?
Yep. Yes, Randy is a GoFundMe thing on for the stay. It's actually a stay and live in place for people that can't rent big areas. So it's one of those places that's not like a hotel, but it's more a extended stay. So
Yeah, it's like an extended stay type place. Yeah, guys, go on Facebook and just search Janice Carter, and you should see it on her page there. And please help her out. It's like she said, it's going to some really some good people that need the help. So let's help them out, guys. All right, buddy, you got anything before we get out of here?
Guys, I know a lot of y'all have watched seen some of my lives. I know some of you checked me on Facebook. I appreciate you guys. Some of y'all have reached out to me about my grandmother. I want you guys, if you can, continue to pray. We're still waiting. It's just kind of a waiting game now. I haven't heard anything new, but just continue to pray it out for me, please, guys, and for my grandma.
We absolutely will, buddy. You're absolutely in my prayers, and guys, y'all know how I feel about what has happened to me recently. I recently turned my life to God. I don't talk about it a whole lot because I don't want to use this platform to shove that at people, but I have talked about it a few times, and I'll talk about it here. Prayer does work. I found God a little over a year ago, and my life has improved in ways that I cannot tell you guys. So I will tell you that prayer does work, and we will continue to pray for you, buddy. I want to ask everybody else to say a little prayer for my buddy Wall's grandma. I know he's real close to her, so yeah, that's all we can say. But you're in my prayers, buddy, and we will keep it going.
I appreciate it, guys.
All right, everybody out there, thank you so much for tuning in, for joining us. And until we see you again, just ask everybody, be good to each other, and just help each other out. We'll see you next time.